What up, though, and welcome to another episode of the Living Noir podcast. I'm Delaney, I'm your host, and today we are in for a special treat. I got a big time guest in the building who's going to give us an exclusive. Now, she's really been out here killing it with her brand, both as a DJ and as a yoga instructor on YouTube, and her subscriber base is rapidly growing like by the second. So I'm gonna have the honor and the privilege to sit down and chat with DJ Nico Marie. Now we're gonna discuss and have conversations about pursuing your passions, and I wanted to sit and discuss how she began to manifest her success and some of the things that she learned about herself in that process. Oh, and as you can see, we live and in color too, baby. So the video is going to be on the Living Noir podcast YouTube page, so make sure that you like and subscribe to the page and also the podcast. Thank you so much for all the support that you've been providing thus far. 5-star reviews, comment on the YouTube channel. I'll be able to reply to each comment, but I would love to continue to hear about what your thoughts are and how this information is resonating with you. And thank you very much for listening thus far. It's much appreciated. So, and then after the interview, of course, we're going to wrap it up with the audiobook of the week. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Thank you for joining me today. I have a special guest in the building. I have the privilege to be joined by someone who, every time I see her posting on her pages, she's constantly leveling up. She's a St. Louis native, been DJing for over 10 years and makes fire mixes. You know what I mean? She came through and was like the soundtrack to the greatest wedding of all time. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So my wedding. But she's also rapidly rising with her yoga page on YouTube. She's just out here killing it. She's been featured in articles on Pop Sugar and Voyage STL. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, the one and only Miss DJ Nico Marie.
Hey,
Nico,
y'all.
what's good?
Hey.
How you doing?
Doing well. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you for joining. I really do appreciate that. So, how's the week going? How's everything been going with you so far this week? And, you know, what's been going on?
Everything's been good this week. Just preparing for my weekend. Preparing for my residencies and stuff, and trying to get music library together, and figuring out what I'm gonna do next on my channel, and just trying to stay consistent on keeping those things afloat. That's pretty much my every week for me right now is keeping things afloat.
Yeah, and you said consistency, and that's one of the things that I kind of always want to talk about too, is like working to stay consistent, especially like with creating routines. So like, what does your morning routine consist of?
So my morning routine usually consists of me like getting up, and I'm not gonna lie, like I don't have the most structured morning routine, but like usually what I have is like, I know what I want to get done today. Like I know I'm either gonna work on music today or yoga today or both, or making social media posts or whatever. And so like what I usually do is I get up and like I work out. I try to work out, and I do yoga every single day. So I get up and do my yoga. Depending on how eager I am to work on something, I'll either have breakfast first or I'll start working and have breakfast a little bit later. So I kind of like go down my list, assess what I need to get done. Like, I want to get 4 videos done today or something like that. And so, I'll go through my process of doing my videos. I'll sit down and edit. I'll switch back and forth between YouTube apps and, create a YouTube studio and, do I need to post something on Instagram today? Thinking about what I need to get done, writing it down. Do I need to get any equipment for what I need to get done? It's just a lot of like checking off things on my to-do list.
So it's more of like a flow for you, basically.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's cool.
Definitely.
That's cool.
And prioritizing like, what do I need to get done today? Like, what is pressing? What is prioritizing? Like, what needs to be done next?
Yeah. Do you ever feel like in those moments sometimes like trying to prioritize like what's most important? I know like for me, I'm a big person. It's like, okay, everything's got to get done today. Everything's got to be done right now. So when you're prioritizing, do you have those moments of where you're like, you think about like, okay, well, am I doing too much in this moment? Or like, how do you actually go through, okay, like if I don't get this done, it's not the end of the world. You know what I mean? Like, how does that work for you?
Not well. That does not work well for me. Like I tell people, like a huge part of my success is like high functioning anxiety, like feeling like I have to get it done. Like, if I don't get this thing done, I have failed for the day, you know, and that is not a good place to be in. But I'm telling you, like, it's not a good place to be in. But so, as you can see, it pushes me to just crank out stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know, like, but I'm better about like, okay, girl, you did 4 videos today, like that's enough. Like you can chill. You know what I mean? And you know, it's constantly a back and forth between like, oh, I got to get all of this done right now, and then like on the other hand, I might have a day where I'm just procrastinating. You know what I mean? Like it's a constant back and forth between those two dynamics.
Yeah, trust me. I hear you with the procrastination and like battling that and trying to figure out like, all right, I created a checklist. I did 5 things on my checklist. I didn't get to the 6th thing. And it's like, it's not the end of the world that I didn't get to it, because now it'll be the first thing on my checklist to do tomorrow. Right. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and then having those conversations with yourself, trying to be like, relax. You know what I mean? Like, yo, you did 4 videos today. It was at a point where like you would only do 1 video. You know what I mean? So it's like you take those steps. So I'm really glad that you said that, because that's normally a lot of things where like I function that well with like high functioning anxiety, kind of like pushing myself to kind of doing things, you know what I mean? And kind of really putting myself out there in a way, if you will, of like just being uncomfortable with like, hey, look, I know that I said I was going to do this for myself. So now I kind of have extra like an oomph to actually get it done, because I don't want to feel this way anymore. You know what I mean? So, but I do want to get into like how the page started, or how the yoga brand page started, and your introduction to, you know, yoga in general. I see you were certified as an instructor. Was it 2016?
Yes.
So how did all of that come about? So how, like, was yoga always a passion of yours, or how did
Not at all. Like, I didn't know anything about like going to a yoga class until like 2015, 2016. Okay. And I just was like, you know, when you get out of high school, a lot changes. Like, you're not doing 3 sports a year or whatever, or how many you was doing. And like, you're like, I can't do the stuff I used to do. You know, like I'm just like out of shape, or I just feel not good or whatever. And then I had like this modern dance class. I'm like, I'm not flexible at all.
You know what I mean?
Man,
like, what am I doing?
I
mean, like, damn, I could have did this like 2 years ago, but like
I'm
now,
like I'm only 25. Like, I was only 25 at the time, and it was like, okay. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna sign up for this yoga class and just work on my flexibility or whatever. Okay. So I just Googled like yoga class in my area. I went to this local yoga studio, and like, I would just, you know, go to classes and practice. And then one day, the owner of the studio, who was also like an instructor of one of the classes, was like, you should think about becoming a yoga instructor. Like, I'm doing a yoga teacher training. I'm like, girl.
You kidding me?
Girl, I don't have time for that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have time for that. I don't have money for the training and stuff. But she's like, you know, I'll work out a payment plan with you for the training, and like, you know. So I'm like, you know, okay, I'll try it. Like, what do I have to lose? If she's going to work out a payment plan with me, I'll do it. So I went through the training.
How long had you been in the training class before she proposed that idea? Like in the yoga class before?
I want to say a couple months, maybe. I feel like less than that, for real. I feel like it was less than that, but I was going pretty regularly. Like, I would go like 2-3 times a week. So yeah, she just liked my practice, like how my practice looked. And I have a friend named Dan I've known since childhood, and he was in the class with me, and so we'd kind of be like in the class, and we had like a similar flow. So people would just be like, wow, you guys have such a beautiful flow. And he's also a yoga instructor too now.
Hey,
So,
plug him. Shout out to Dan.
What's up, Dan Baldwin?
Dan Baldwin, shout out to him. Check him out. Was it YouTube?
I think he's on YouTube.
IG?
Yeah, I think he's on YouTube.
Okay, shout out to Dan Baldwin on YouTube.
Cool dude. But yeah, so I went through the training. I taught with her for a while at her studio. And that was cool, but it wasn't a lot of black people at the studio. So I'm like, this is cool, but really my mission, if I'm going to do this, like I want to share it with my people. So I eventually branched off and called up people at Herb Arts. MK, he owns Herb Arts. It's like this little small black-owned art gallery and also event space. And they were like, yeah, you could do yoga out of here, you know? And when I first started, it was very slow. Then over time, it just grew.
Yeah. And when was that? When was that exactly? That was still like 2016?
That was still 2016. That was like end of 2016, I think.
Okay. And yeah, you mentioned your mission statement, and I was going through it, and I like the part that where you kind of just really identify. And it says, since I decided to start teaching yoga, my mission has been to create a space for Black people to receive the health and healing benefits of yoga.
Absolutely.
I found this to be important as I was finding trouble feeling welcome in the yoga community when I first started. Do you care to share a little bit more about like how that was and why exactly you said that, you felt it was a little kind of hard feeling welcome in the community? Well,
so I was working in a space that, funny enough, was in Ferguson and in Florissant. But the people who patronized the business were white people, white women. The owner was a white woman. And it kind of was like I would have issues with people trying to tell me how to do the class. I would have issues with people like kind of how the owner, I would have issues with the owner and how much say-so she had over how I operated, not only my class, but my life, like I'm a DJ as well. So I have, that's a love of mine. And that was before yoga, So I will be telling her like, oh, I need somebody to substitute this class. I have this great DJ opportunity. And like, she just would like not be going for it. And it's kind of like, and so that's when I kind of felt like it was time for me to pull away, because I have these different passions. I'm not putting everything I'm doing into this studio. I'm not putting every single piece of me into here. I'm a
100%.
multifaceted person. I have different passions. I have different things I want to do. So it was like kind of just an issue with communication, with me and her. And also, some of the students, they just felt like they had some type of authority, or they would report back to her if there was something going on that they didn't like. And it's like, you can talk to me. You can talk to me. I'm a teacher here. I'm a person. You can talk to me. You know what I mean? I went through the training, so I at least somewhat know what I'm doing,
Respect me, at least.
Respect me in this space.
Yeah.
And, that was a clear indicator that, people, if people can't see you as an equal, or as somebody who's at least in the same plane as you, then how can they possibly trust you to do this job,
Exactly.
And so like, I had to seek out a space where I could feel trusted, and people could look to me and say, I trust you to be my guide, and I trust you to get done what needs to get done while I'm here in this space, and also make me feel safe and make me feel comfortable and make me feel like I belong here, and that this isn't weird, that I'm in this place. Like even at that studio, like I did things the way I wanted to do them. I did my own music, I created my own flows. I put music that was not just traditional yoga music, and that was what my class was centered around. So I would attract a lot of the few Black students that were at that studio would come to my class. You know what I mean?
And then they probably start looking around and like, hell? Like, you know what I mean?
Yep. And it's like,
yeah,
I didn't get that respect off rip that I should have got, you know?
So from there, is that when you started like to focus? Okay, because at this time now it's like, you know, I'm not really feeling, basically it's like, I'm not feeling respected as a human, just on a human level, right? So now you're learning that, okay, I want to push this message forward.
Yeah.
I'm not feeling it here. I kind of want it to be in my own way. Is that where you were mentally, to where it's like, okay, I'm going to start the YouTube channel? Or how exactly did that come about from the space that you were feeling, let's say, disrespected at, you know, just at that time? And how did that lead to the YouTube page?
So, like, creating my own class was really the start of a long journey, you know, that I did not think was gonna go where it went, you know. But like once my classes once I started to see like Black people in the space, and like there's always this moment where like we're finishing our warm up and we're coming up and we're all like inhaling, our arms up and our eyes are closed, and then I open my eyes and there are a bunch of Black people in front of me just like this, you know, like looking at me. And I'm always like, this is my favorite part of class. Like, just to see you all here. And, you know, people would thank me after class, would talk about, you don't know what you did for me. There's people to this day that went to my class years ago. Like, you did A, B, and C for me, and you really taught me this and that. I'm like, dang, like, this is way more impactful than I thought it was. And it does as much for me as it does for my students. You know, so sometime around 2018, I don't remember what prompted me to want to start, but you know, like I guess it was just like at the time, that's when like being a YouTuber was really like starting to become more like, oh, okay, anybody can do this, you know, starting to become more visible, or just seeing like how social media could really make people grow and stuff like that. So at first it was just kind of like this thing I'm doing. So I didn't really take it seriously in 2018. I uploaded a couple videos and kind of just let that be what it was. But then pandemic came about, you know, so it's no in-person classes right now, you know, no in-person classes. So I'm like, okay, I still want to be able to teach my students. So I started live streaming classes, and I would live stream them on like Instagram and YouTube. But Instagram, they give you 1 hour. Or at least at the time, 1 hour on the dot. You know what I mean? So I would be teaching an hour class, but if I've got a few words I'm saying and it's 1 hour and 1 second, you're done.
It's a wrap, B.
I was doing it on Facebook and people weren't really watching it there. So I'm like, what is a better platform that I could stream this on? YouTube. You know what I mean? So YouTube is a better platform because it recorded it and it would just upload it or whatever. So then after some time, I don't remember, somebody had asked me for like a 10-minute warm up or something like that. And so I like made a video and I just put it on like IGTV or whatever. And then I uploaded it on the YouTube. And then I'm like, well, since I can't teach classes in real life, not only is this a way for me to teach people and get specific about how I want to teach, and also I can upload and not have to have this obligation of being here every Saturday at 9 a.m., so I can still have some freedom in my life if I pre-record these things and put them out later, and I can have way more resources. People can go back and watch them later, and, also they can hear them better because, live streaming just gets weird sometimes. I just started recording videos and put them out. And if you see like the videos I was first putting out versus videos now, like videos I put out then, it was like, hey y'all, I'm about to do this 10-minute warm up or whatever. So here we go.
And now it's thank you for thank you for joining me. And if you're new to my channel, hi, I'm Nico. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, look at it. You know what I mean? Look at the growth, folks. Yeah, that's so dope. You know what I mean? So I do I like all that you said. That was fantastic,
Hey.
by the way. But I also saw on, I don't know if it's called your info sheet or whatever it is, but I saw that you completed trauma informed yoga with yoga behind bars. So what was that? Like that was like, I was like, damn, that sounds really interesting. So can you talk about that a little bit?
So I've always like had this thing about really like of course I want to reach Black people, but I've really had this thing, like this really small obsession with getting Black men to do yoga. Getting Black men to do yoga with everything that Black men are facing, you know what I mean? And just with the stigma about what makes you masculine versus what doesn't make you masculine and all of these things. And, you know, I would just notice like how tight Black men are in their bodies on a day-to-day basis. Like a lot of men can't sit cross-legged, you know what I mean? Because their hips are so tight, their shoulders are so tight, like, you know, stuff just weighing down on them all the time, or weighing down on y'all.
There's like so many times within a day where I feel like, you know, I'm sitting like this and I'm all like hunched over and I catch myself and it's like, bro, and then you come all the way back up and it's just like, it's a natural thing, it's a natural feeling, just the tightness, you know what I mean? And I shout out to you and your videos because I do yoga. I work out a couple times a week, so about 3-4 times a week, and then I use the yoga practices usually about like one of those sessions throughout the week. So man, you know, I appreciate it. But yeah, like, so I'm sorry, go back into your story. I apologize.
So I had like done like, I did like a couple classes which were like targeted for men. Like, okay, if you guys come to this class, we're going to target the problem areas for men or whatever. And then like one of my friends just randomly tagged me in this thing, I guess because they just thought it was like this beautiful thing. And it was like yoga behind bars. And what I really liked about yoga behind bars is it's not just we're teaching yoga.
I'm sorry, when was this?
This was in 2017, I think. 2017 or 18. One of those two. And what I liked about yoga behind bars is it wasn't just like, oh yeah, we teaching yoga to people who are incarcerated or formerly incarcerated. It was like, we know about the systemic, like, you know, we know how messed up incarceration is. We know how it's targeted towards Black people. You know, they really had extensive knowledge about the prison system. You know, extensive knowledge about the prison system, and their mission is to give people tools, not only to feel better mentally and physically, but they will even teach people how to be incarcerated people how to be yoga instructors. And this is across all planes. It wasn't only men. They're teaching women in prisons. They're teaching everybody, you know, and I'm like, I was really attracted to that because I like helping people. You know what I mean? I like helping people. So I went to this training. It was in Seattle. And the organization is Yoga Behind Bars, and went through the training. I can't remember how many days it was, but it really just talked about how to deal with people who have been through traumatic experiences. When you go teach somebody in a place, in a facility, like how you should be with them, like, you know, just what experiences you might have and what tools you might need, what things might be triggering to them, what words to use, how to do meditation within this space, and, you know, considering all that they have been through or what they are going through while they're in the facility. So, you know, I was really motivated after that. Like, I want to do this, you know? So I reached out to this organization called, or my friend Lauren, she got me in contact with this organization called Criminal Justice Ministries. And so I did teach at a transition center. It's called the Transition Center of St. Louis. And it's for people who were incarcerated, but it's like kind of a halfway house type situation. But it helps them to develop skills. Like, they can work while they're there. They can leave and come back. They have some, you know, freedom to where they can leave and come back. So I taught in that place for a while, and I taught up until COVID. So I was teaching people who had been incarcerated a big part of their life, or, you know, or who are on their way out, you know, into the world. And it was a great experience. It was a great experience to see people, not only just to see people in their different walks of life, but, you know, to see people, and, you know, they make it a point not to, like, not to like judge people or know anything about their past or anything. So it's like just seeing people as people. You know, just see people as people. Like, whatever you did to get here is none of my business. All we know that we're here right now, and I'm hoping that this can help you in any way.
Yeah. What were some of the responses that you got just from those experiences in those transition homes with those people who are having? A lot of those people, I would assume, have been institutionalized. You know what I mean, from being in the system for so long. So, like, do you feel like with those transitions, how do you feel like, or have some of them even reached out and said like, hey, look, you know, this really helped with transitioning for me because it put my mind space in a different space? Like, did you have anybody come out and say anything like that to you?
Not really. Like, I didn't really get as much time as I would have liked to there because of COVID ended things so abruptly. But there were times like people would be telling me, oh, I do this like when you're not here. Like, I do this like, you know, in my room or whatever. Or somebody like breathing techniques. Like a person was like, he was like, oh, I'm doing this. I do this before I go to sleep now. Like, it helps me go to sleep. Yeah. Or just seeing like they have the stiffest bodies because they work out. Yeah, they got this workout room or whatever they're doing, or whether they're sitting or but you know, there are times either where they're working out, they're not stretching before or after, you know. They're just working out, or, you know, there's times where they're just stagnant. So, I mean, these are some of the stiffest bodies I had ever encountered. So just seeing people be able to open up or just be able to breathe, or we'll be in Shavasana and they'll be falling asleep. So just having a moment where you can feel comfortable in that space, as, you know, I'm sure as chaotic as it can possibly be, but you're right here in this room in a moment and you feel comfortable enough to fall asleep, you know? Like, that was a good feeling.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so dope, man. That's really cool. So I don't know if you just launched it probably about, I don't know if it feels like it was a couple weeks ago or maybe a month ago, but the YouTube membership program.
Yes.
I'm like, I see you out here. You know what I mean? So, so it's dope. You know what I mean? It's exclusive content with all of the already like free dope content you already provide. Right. And it's like, it starts at like $2 a month or something like that, right? So it's like, you know what I mean? It's affordable. So like, how does it work? How does the whole program work?
So like when you get to a certain amount of like subscribers and stuff, of course, you know, YouTube is like, oh, you can do this thing now. And so it's like, YouTube memberships. I'm like, okay. So I kind of did some research to see like what other channels were doing memberships and how they did the memberships. And there were a couple of them that I really liked their model, and their model made a lot of sense to me. So how it works is I have 3 different tier levels. First tier level is amethyst. I named them after crystals. First tier level is amethyst. Second tier level is aventurine. Third tier level is rose quartz. So amethyst tier level is just $1.99, and it's like I prioritize like replying to your comments, and there's another perk.
I think it's like the
you
loyalty,
get the little loyalty badge,
right?
You get the little loyalty badge. So that was like, that's kind of like for people who just wanted to really support or wanted to, you know, just be somebody who donated and weren't necessarily looking for perks, but somebody who may have said, I want to support you more in this way. And like a lot of people really want to do that and really like appreciate that option. And especially after seeing like how many other channels do that and how much good response they get from it, I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to offer this tier level as well. And now since I get all these comments, you know what I mean? People can feel like it's worth it because I can prioritize replying to them or talking to them, you know, out of a sea of comments, you know. And the aventurine level is for people who necessarily don't want to go, you know, all the way full, but still want to get some perks. So that one's $4.99. So I offer 2 all levels classes for people who pay $4.99, in addition to the same perks that amethyst level members get. And they also get early access to videos. They also get early access. So I might give them early access a day before, or if I remember longer before that, in addition to those, all levels classes, 2 all levels classes a month. And Rose Quartz members, they get all those perks mentioned, 2 all levels classes, and they get 2 intermediate classes. So there are people who really ask me, like, I want to do a flow with a headstand. I want to do, really hard hit yoga, or I want to do, or they want to challenge themselves. So that's kind of for people who just want that challenge, or they want to do like longer practices. Like I have practices for members that are up to an hour, that I'm going to get ready to upload next month. So so it's just like, people, they are asking for more, and it balances out, because you're like, okay, doing more is gonna mean I got to spend more time doing this, so it's a way for me to get compensated for spending more time doing everything. And just another way for me to get creative with content, and opening up that another like financial pathway is like, okay, I can afford to spend more time on this. I can afford to get things to make my videos better. So it just opens up more opportunities for me.
Man, that's fantastic. And you were talking about content, and I had mentioned before, like, you have tons and tons of content. How many videos do you have up there now? Like,
it's over 200.
Is it over? Is it 200? I was about to say it's over like 200. Like, you have tons of content. And what I really like is that, like, it's pretty much, you cover, it feels like, in any type of situation. Like, emotional release. I saw scoliosis was on there. Negative energy. I mean, and then the one that I was like, yo, like, even if you don't even feel like doing yoga, this is what you do. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so it's like, to me, it felt like there's not necessarily any true like excuse or any reason to not like try it at an introductory level or at an intermediate level. So it's like, what is it like? What's your process when it comes to like thinking about creating content and like your video ideas and, stuff like that? If you don't mind.
One of the things I used to do early on is I would go to Google and I would just type yoga 4. And I would see what things would come up when I type it. You type it and then it starts like showing you stuff. Yeah,
and it's a predictive text.
Yoga 4.
Yeah,
and I would see what things would be down there, because I'm like, okay, clearly these are things people are searching. These are things people are looking for. So that yoga 4 emotional release came directly from that yoga 4, and then I saw something underneath said emotional release. I said, oh, I didn't even know people were looking for that. And that's like probably my like second most successful video.
Really?
And then like when I was in yoga teacher training, like the lane I kind of focused on was chakras or whatever, and like I would read about chakras and like just learning about chakras and just how they work within your body. And a lot of people are interested in chakras, in holistic ways of healing, in like anything involving energies, anything involving astrology. That's just huge right now in general, because people are looking for alternative ways to heal. They're looking to get in touch with their deeper selves. They're looking to align their chakras. They're looking to find out what chakras are open or closed. And so during the thing that really showed me that people were huge into that was that root chakra video, which is currently my number one video. So like these chakra practices, people are searching them out. Also, YouTube is great with their analytics and showing you how people are responding, showing you the people that come to their channel, how they're finding your channel. And like one of the big things, if people were finding my channel, of course, the top thing searched was like black woman yoga, black woman, and then underneath that, it's like chakra stuff. So like I had to see how people were finding me, what people were looking for. Of course, also reading your comments and seeing what people are asking for, and trying to have a balance of putting out videos that people are asking for, in addition to the videos that you might have planned on putting out.
That you've already had.
And then sometimes you just get an idea, like yoga for when you don't feel like doing yoga, is because there's a lot of times I don't feel like doing yoga, there's a lot of times I don't feel like doing anything. And then I would think about like, when I do go and do a yoga video, what yoga video do I do when I don't feel like doing yoga? Oh, it's one where we're seated, we're on the floor, it's one where I don't have to stand up. So like that's how I centered that practice. Like I know if I'm feeling this way, other people are feeling this way.
100%. 100%.
Just energies,
so
just any alternative way to heal, any way to feel better. Like people are just looking for a different way, other than what we've been used to.
Yeah. And I think that's a big part of it too, is like people are looking for ways to heal. People are looking for ways to figure out who they are, you know what I mean? And figure out what are some ways to, become a better version of myself. And I think you do a great job with the moments of gratitude and the moments of not manifesting, but just taking those moments of what am I saying? Not manifesting. Well, yes, manifesting, but also affirmations is what I was getting into. You know what I mean? Just having a moment to just, because it's like everyone is so focused on the next thing, the next thing, the next thing. And what I like about yoga and what I like about your practice is that it helps with not necessarily resetting, but bringing you back to being present. And focusing on what's happening now and how you're feeling right now, and being okay with whatever emotion that you're feeling prior to doing the practice. If you're feeling depressed, if you're feeling, sad or frustrated, like understanding and being okay with that, but also just like taking a moment to just know that like, this is a moment that you can get through, and you can accept where you are right now and still kind of build from, you know what I mean? So it's like, that's what I really like about just your practice, because you are an introduction to a lot of people, a lot of Black men, a lot of Black women, you know what I mean? Like, so by you bringing light to that, to focusing on your mental health, that's huge, especially now, since the pandemic, because we're all kind of in our minds with that. So is that more of a focus for you now? Like, are you more conscious when it comes to like mental health and practices, or is that always kind of been
I'm definitely more conscious when it comes to mental health and practices. Like, for a big part of me, like being certified in yoga, I wasn't doing yoga every day. I was like doing it every now and then, or doing it when I had a class. And, the pandemic really was really, really hard on me mentally, really heavy on me mentally. And, I got back into therapy, and I said, I'm going to do yoga every day, because not only do I have to be an example and a reflection for the people I'm trying to teach, like how can I teach you about how important yoga is if I'm not taking it seriously?
100%,
so I
100%.
got into doing it every day, making it a part of my life, making like parts of the philosophy a part of my life. And of course I'm a person, so I'm never gonna be somebody who's like 100% like the top role model. And I try to be real with my students. Like, you see this part of me, but I'm a multifaceted person. There are times like I messed up, like in my life in general, or there are moments I'm not proud of myself, in ways that I move throughout life. But it's a continuous journey, and I really do feel better. I really do feel better mentally. I really do feel better physically. I really do feel like in working on my mental health that I can be better to other people. So it's a huge part of my life.
So it's become basically vital for you at this point. You know what I mean? It's like a necessity.
Because if you are somebody who does practice very regularly, or somebody who does, depend on this practice to help your mind and your body, when you miss a day, you can feel it.
Yeah. Yes, you definitely can feel it. And that that's also something that, that's a part of building a routine where, you may be in points where you're in the process of building that routine and you're like, okay, well, I'm going to do yoga 7 times throughout this week. So every day, basically. And then in those modes, you may have periods where it's like, damn, I only did it 4 or 5 times this week. You know what I mean? And then learning to over time be okay with like, okay, I did it, I at least did it 5 times compared to a week ago where I wasn't doing it at all.
Definitely got to be proud of
you know what I mean? So you have to like take those moments into consideration and know that you're building to where, okay, I did set. Now it's just really just routine. I don't even think about it anymore. It's just become part of my DNA. And that also is a part of just like continuing to build on routines and strategies of what you're doing. So, for what I also wanted to get into is more of, and we talked about some of these things, but like more of just like the process for you of like what it comes to when you're creating. We talked about, you creating content, but like more about the accountability aspect. What are some ways that you kind of hold yourself accountable to your schedule, or what does your schedule actually like look like when you're like throughout the week? Do you have it defined, or how does that work?
I do kind of have a defined schedule. Like during the beginning of the week, like I'll be working on music things or social media things, but like towards like the middle or end of the week, or really just a day where I don't have like an obligation during the day or the afternoon. I try to pick like 1 or 2 days out of the week where I know I'm going to record videos. So the day before like is when I'll start to prepare. Like, okay, I know I want to get these 4 videos done. So I need to be doing research on, what poses are best or how I need to do this meditation or whatever, and writing my sequences down. So I have like a notebook, because like there's a lot of instructors are big on like memorizing their sequences. I'm not good at that. So I write my sequences down in a notebook. I might be like, oh, I'm doing this sequence for Moon and Aries or whatever. And so I'll like spend part of the day before, or the days leading up to the days where I'm going to record my videos. I'll spend that time planning what I'm going to do in the videos, what poses I'm going to do, what meditations I'm going to do, whatever research I need to do. Like if I need to talk in the beginning of the video, like the emotional release video, I talk about, oh, this is how this works. Like, you store emotions in your fascia and your hips and this. So if I need to do that kind of research, I'm doing that and writing that down. And then, the day comes, I get up, brush my teeth, whatever, put on my outfit, set up all my stuff. I'll record the videos. I usually record them back to back to back. And then, I'll have my videos all together. And then, I'll go to my computer and like get to editing, spending, some hours editing. And then I'll like save them, or I'll usually like upload them. And, have them on a schedule, like, oh, this one's scheduled to, because I try to upload 3 times a week. So like, I'll have like, okay, I'll have it like written down in my notebook. Like usually I upload on Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. Or if I upload twice a week, it's like Wednesday and Saturday. So I'll like write in my notebook, okay, this is the month of April. All right, April 1st is Saturday or whatever day it is, Wednesday, Monday, Saturday, Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, Monday, Wednesday, written down in my notebook. I have all those. And then I'll write underneath what video is going to come out on that day, so that I can see, okay, do I have all the videos for the month, or how many more videos do I need to get done to be done with this month, and I usually try to get all the videos done for that month, the month prior. So I have all my videos done for April.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that if I need to take some time away or step away, I'm not playing catch up. Like I got videos that are going to come out on their own. It's a little more work with the membership, because with the membership and like putting early access to videos and stuff, you got to kind of do that manually. So yeah, I'll like just have everything planned out, like what videos I want to do, how many short videos I want to do, how many long videos I want to do. I need to get 4 member videos done. And just have that all planned out and have that uploaded, by the time the month is over.
So when you say you have all of April and the videos out, now does that just pertain to like the YouTube videos, or is that also with your content when it comes to like Instagram or the TikToks or the shorts that you were talking about too? Is that all included as well? Like you have that?
videos. So like my YouTube videos, I'll have like pre-planned and done and ready to go. My like social media content is a little more like week to week, because like you know, depending on like what's popular on social media, I might want to upload something different, you know, than what I might have originally planned. So when it comes to like content, like the days I'm not like recording full on videos, like I might be making TikToks that day. So I might make 5 or 6 TikToks and like I have like 5 TikToks in my drafts, you know, have 5 TikToks in my drafts, and I don't upload on TikTok very regularly, but TikTok is kind of like, if your video like does, it's another platform. Like, you might have a video that's nothing, and then you might have a video that's astronomical numbers. You know what I mean? Yeah. But it's no rhyme or reason. There's no rhyme or reason. It's just chaos. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I don't get too stressed about TikTok, because I just don't want to like my life is already through this phone. You know what I mean? I'm already on the phone all the time. Yeah. Like, so like TikTok, I can kind of upload every now and then, upload once a week, upload twice a week or something. So I have like a bunch of stuff in the TikTok drafts. And then of course TikTok can double as Instagram content too. So a TikTok can be an Instagram reel. Yeah. And then I'll spend time. Like I'll make some TikToks, and then I'll spend time just taking some pictures of me in some poses. You know, it's because it's interesting how many people just gravitate to those pictures of you doing poses that look interesting to them. You know, and it could be something simple to you, but you know, somebody sees that and they just like, oh, that's so beautiful. Is this in one of your practices? You know, or what is this pose called? Yeah. Or I want to be able to work.
You're like, damn, I'm just, you know, I just got this. This is just the up dog. You know what I mean?
Like, oh, I want to get to this point. You know what I mean? So that'll just make them interested in what you're doing. It'll make them interested in what you're doing. So like, I'll have like a bunch of photos, that I'll just have stored away, and the photo might just be a photo I'm gonna upload just as itself, or it could be like a photo I'm gonna use on a flyer, or it could be a photo I'm gonna use on a YouTube community post. Like when I do those posts, like, oh, we've reached this many subscribers, like I'll be taking those photos then too, you know, like, oh, I like you know, use it like just stuff I can use for different posts or for YouTube thumbnails or something, you know.
So it's like you got a whole arsenal already. You know what I mean? With just like photos and stuff like that, which makes it a lot easier to just be like, okay, let me just put this in, plug and play it, or let me take a quick picture and then, you know, throw it in there. So it makes it a lot like, I was going to say, like, do you feel like with that, I mean, when did you get to the point to where you got like, you know, that you needed to have a lot of reserve? Was there ever a moment throughout this where it was like, oh shit, I'm kind of like lacking a little bit with what I have in reserve, you know? So how did that work for you?
It's out of anxiety of fear of not being caught up, you know, or being behind. And like a big thing that helped me is my friend Taylor Lloyd. She like her YouTube right now is like about being a content creator and like starting your business or and like just in that realm. She like started her own business like with her husband. Like at first she was like a beauty vlogger, and then she's transitioned into this like how to make your business thrive or how to make your social media thrive. So I would like be messaging Taylor like, how do you do this? You know? And Taylor was like, oh, it's called batching. When you make all of this content and put it in your reserve. So, and then she talked to me about like going to my insights and seeing what type of content my followers are paying attention to, you know, like even with posting on my DJ page, like I'll every now and then I will like post a tweet, you know, that I tweeted on Twitter, and she says a lot of people like are engaging with this, you know. Think about posting more of those, or you know, a selfie. People pay attention to selfies, or you know, reels of me making a mix and stuff. So it's definitely I will be looking at my insights. I will be looking at like, okay, the time of day that's best to post, even though I don't stick to the time so much now, because sometimes I'm just like, look, I'm gonna upload, I don't feel like worrying about this later. But there are times that the time of day will really have an impact. Looking into hashtags, I started like just looking up videos. How do I grow my Instagram following? How do I grow my YouTube following? You know, how do I get people to watch my channel? How do I get people to keep watching my videos? You know, how do I keep that audience retention?
All the way through.
And learning about YouTube SEO, like search engine optimization, and like, okay, this makes a difference in whether people see your videos or not, or whether YouTube shows your videos first. You know what I mean? So just there's so much you can learn on your own. There's so many resources, like between Taylor and YouTube. And there was like some time a couple years ago, where I had just took like this social media marketing class online. It was just random. And it really helped, you know, just thinking about, again, what people are responding to, what things are trending at the moment. And also a really, really big part of maintaining and keeping your audience is your integrity and your authenticity. And like, people are very attracted to you being yourself, you being honest. I say in my videos, like, this helps me financially. You guys joining this membership, it helps me financially. You know what I mean? It not only is a way for me to help you and do what I love doing, but it helps me. That's a perk, you know, is that it helps me. And like, people, they want to help you. Yeah. They want to help you. People don't go, oh, it's just when you're doing it only to make money, people are gonna know. You know, people are gonna know when you're doing it only to make money. And a lot of times those types of channels can sometimes not be as successful, or maybe not necessarily be as successful, but you just gain a different type of respect when people feel like you're being honest with them. You can feel it.
Because you can feel it. You feel authenticity and genuine support when you want to give support to something or someone that you know is doing it. Well, doing it because they have a passion for it. And I mean, we're not all millionaires, you know what I mean? So it's like, hey, it's real. Like, hey, this is another way that I can make some income. But it's like, you know, a two birds, one stone kind of thing, where it's like, look, I'm still able to put out more content about the things that I care about and the passions that I have, and to be able to put this into your life as well, to give you something. And if you are able to, you know what I mean? Look, hey, you know, this go toward the light bill, you know what I mean? Or I need a new camera. So it's like, you know, you can help me with that. I would appreciate that, so I can put out better quality, because I can put in more time for this, because I care about that. And I wanted to get into one more thing, and then I wanted to get closer to like wrapping this up. You've been fantastic this entire time, and I really appreciate all of this time. But what I wanted to get into, and I wanted to ask, because you talk about the time aspect of it, right? And a big thing, you know, I say all the time, I'm working to transition from my 9 to 5 into doing my passion products full time. So like, are you able to focus on your brand like 24/7, or are you in a space where it's like a hybrid? Like, are you still currently in the workforce? Like, how do you, or even just something that you want to do 24/7? Because I know, you know, it's, you know, we're alike in the ways that like we're multifaceted. Like, I have a bunch of different ideas about what I want to do. And they're passion products, they're investments, they're whatever, but it's like something that I want to do with my time, but I'm not able to get there yet, because, you know, I need this 9 to 5, or I need to, you know, do this so I can be where I want to be. So how is that for you? So I am like in in this like middle space right now. And like a lot of it is because I decided that I am not going to be in places where I am not happy. And I'm not going to be in places where I'm not healthy. And I was working in spaces that were not good for my mental health. And that quickly translated and showed in my physical health. I had my first panic attack over this time. I would have anxiety to the point where I would have chest pains, where I would have shortness of breath.
all of that stuff that a lot
Yeah.
of us experience, and we're like, what is going on?
Mhm.
You know, what is going on
Yeah.
with me? Like, what, feeling nauseous all the time, like just like the dread of going into work, and that whole physical, just heavy all over, just heavy all over. And so I was working in retail. I was working at a grocery store, and I quit. I was like, you know, but I found another job as a substitute teacher. And then I quit being a substitute teacher. And it was just like, I was at a point where, okay, I know I have all these gigs lined up, so I know I could sustain for at least this little while. So that's where I'm at right now. Is like, right now I can sustain, you know. And my friend Jean, good friend of mine, I was just having anxiety about not having a 9-to-5. I haven't not had a 9-to-5 or been on somebody's payroll probably since I was 16 years old. You know, 16 or 17 years old. Yeah. And so I was just like, I don't know if I could do this. Like, I'm afraid I'm not going to be able to pay my bills. Like, and that's like one of my biggest fears. Is just not being able to pay my bills or not being able to cover my expenses so that I can live independently. You know what I mean? And my friend was like, okay, well, just write down a budget, write down your income, and do it every month. You know, write down your income and make sure it can cover everything. You know, so I like wrote down my income, like the minimal amount of income I know I'm gonna get, you know, and it's enough for me to at least be able to sustain for now, you know. So like so now I'm at a place where I'm like, okay, I'm reaching a point where, I'm fine, but is there a way I can make another income? You know? So I've been kind of like, and it's kind of crazy how life will just push you into these situations. Like, life made a lot of decisions for me. Like, just in a sense that, like, people will not hire me. And I really have no idea why. Like, it's really hard to get a job. Like, I've been in customer service, in the customer service realm, probably for 10 years. There was this company, I applied for a customer service position 10 or 11 times. They denied me every time. And it's like, how hard is customer service? You know, or like putting in an application in like coffee shop or something. And they're like, no. And I'm like, what is it? You know, I'm going, what is the problem? Like, I've gone over my resume with people. Like, I've reached out to people that work at different places. I'm like, I know all of these people, and they all have jobs. So, you know, like, I've been doing that. And it's like,
for real,
so weird. It's like the universe is like, not that one, you know, or not now, or not this, or not that. So like, it's really forced me to go, okay, well, if you are not doing a 9-to-5, you need to be working somehow, you know. And YouTube, like, when it comes to YouTube's income, like, it can be like up and down, like those numbers can change, but I do have another income. You know, I'm a DJ, so that really helps me out. I have a residency at a place that really helps me out. So I know that there's a certain amount of income I'm going to get. And I also have a responsibility to create situations where I'm going to have income. So hosting my own yoga classes, throwing my own parties, you know what I mean? To where, to not only are parties I can bring another DJ in and pay them, or I can help a venue or whatever, but I'm getting paid. You know what I mean? So it's really a test of, okay, what really can you do? You have this time on your hands now. You can spend your day however you want to spend it, but I'm still working. You know what I mean? I'm still working. And there's even more pressure now, because it's like, okay, I really enjoy doing this. I really enjoy being able to create my own schedule. I really enjoy being able to spend my time doing the things I love and doing the things I like. If you want to keep doing this, you better figure it out. You know what I mean? Or if you want to keep, if you want to, like, because if I start working a job at this point, it's like, okay, I don't want to work more than like 3 days a week, you know, because I need time. I need time to get this stuff done. I need to be able to have energy to put into these things that have been sustaining me for this time. So, you know, so right now I'm at a place where like this morning I was like looking for stuff online, like something where I can just kind of make my own schedule and just looking for little ways to try to bring in income. And even like yoga studios have reached out to me, and I'm trying to think, is that worth it, like being in that kind of space again, a yoga studio space again, and is that worth it for me? So yeah, like right now I am just trying to I don't want to say necessarily trying to come up with a plan, but trying to figure out how I am going to keep doing what I have been doing, and like, I'm so blessed, for real. You know what I mean? I'm really so blessed to be able to even explore this as an option. I'm so blessed for people who want to sign up for these memberships and support me, for people who watch my videos, for people who donate to me. There are people who donate, like I put like my donation information. Yeah. You will be surprised at like what people are just willing to give because they're so grateful.
They're
grateful. So grateful. Yeah. And they really are like, you did something for me. Yeah. And a big thing I say about a big thing I've learned is, in order to receive, you have to give. You have to give. So me working and putting this content out is, I'm giving, I'm giving. I don't only give in that way in my life. If somebody's going through something and you have it to give it. Somebody asks you for $1 and you got it to give. Just give it. Because I promise you, the universe, God, like, there is something that sees everything you're doing. Like, just in a sense that it just opens a door for you. It opens a door for you to let people in, and people like as much as there is out there on the opposite side of like people like praying on your downfall. You know how like to talk. As much as that as there is that, there are 5 times. My
haters out there, you know what I'm saying? I want to thank all my haters, you know what I'm saying? Like,
okay. As much as that as there is out there, there's an astronomical amount of people who want to support you, and there's always more people 100%. Who want to support you than people who are praying on your downfall. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So like, I'm just navigating that space right now, and I'm just blessed, man. I'm just like really blessed, for real.
Yeah. And you are doing, I can't stop saying it, but like, I am just really inspired, and because I see like, well, you've talked about all the work that you put into it. So it's like, it's work, but it's rewarding work because one is for you, but it has a bigger purpose because of what you want to do. You know what I mean? And the benefits will come tenfold. So it's like, that was the main reason why I want to be able to like shed a little bit of light about your journey and your process, because you've done a lot to even get to this point, and you, I'm sure, are not even where you want to be yet, and you've made astronomical strides from, you know what I mean? Just like a year ago, like I said, you had like less than 5,000 subscribers a year ago. You know what I mean? So it's just fantastic. Keep doing what you're doing. You know what I mean? And I'm
thank you so
beyond
much.
Proud. You know what I mean? I'm beyond excited for you. You know what I mean? So I wanted to just get into maybe just a few things before we wrapped up. I think I said that already, but just some random actually before that, I do want to ask you, how has your confidence grown over this time?
You asked me that question, just like gave me a little chill. Like, my confidence, like, again, I'm so grateful. I am so grateful, like, from like just being where I was to being where I'm at, like, and it just reflects not only in this like workspace, it reflects in your personal relationships, like how you feel about yourself, like your worth as a person, what you deserve as a person. Like, you start to realize just in every area of your life, I am worth so much more than what I've been getting. I'm worth so much more than being treated poorly by customers on a daily basis. Like, even though that's a lot of people's situation and they can't change it right now, but it's like, when you have a way and you start to see like I am somebody who deserves the best. Everybody should feel that way about themselves, because we really freaking do. You know, we really do. Each of us have, as individuals, have been through so much in our life. You know, we've been through so much when it comes to how we've been treated in the world, when it comes to just being seen, when it comes to just being recognized as a person who exists just like any other person. You know what I mean? I'm a Black person trying to exist in this world that, you know, I constantly feel like nobody cares about me. You know, like, just on a general scale. General scale of being a person in the world. You feel like nobody cares about what I'm going through. Nobody cares about how I feel on a day-to-day basis. Nobody cares that the way they're treating me sucks and is going to have an impact on how I feel. You know, how I feel about myself.
How I feel about myself.
How I feel about other people. Like, I'm still very scarred from all that, from life. As
from
each
life.
And every one of us are scarred and traumatized, you know? And it's like, wow, you really just start to see that. You really start to, like, for myself, I really started to feel like I don't ever want to be in a situation where I'm not having a good time. You know, like, of course there are situations where it's inevitable, but if there's something I have control over and I'm not having a good time, or I don't feel good, or I feel combative inside or something like that, I don't want to be in that situation. You know what I mean? I'm at a part of my life, I don't want to be in that situation. I don't want to be in a chaotic situation. I don't want to be in a toxic situation. I don't want to be wrapped up in these things, because I have so much to be grateful for. And I have so many things that I haven't even seen yet that are on their way. And it's like, if you're not feeling great in whether it's the people you're around or the space you're in or the things you're doing, if you can change it, like, change it. And for so long, like, I would hear people, like, you would hear people say this stuff our whole life, you know, and we're like, okay, but what can I do right now? You know what I mean? Like, what can I do right now? I can't do that right now. And so
and that right there, that I can't do that right now. I think a big point for me is, like, working through unlearning a lot, because that comes from just a lot of learning that we've been either taught or we know, or, you know what I mean? So even that thought, like, I can't do that right now. Okay, think of things that you can do to work to the point to where you can change it, and you can change it. But there's still something that you can do now to get to that point.
There are steps you can take wherever you are. Whether that is watching YouTube videos on how to get where you want to be, you can start with that. And there are always going to be people who are going to tell you that you can't do it. There are always going to be people who put those doubts in your mind. There are going to be people who say you can't do it because they believe that they can't do it. You know what I mean? There are people that are going to project onto you. And we know, like, our generation has very much, like, uplift. We've created this term, creative. This is our term. You know what I mean? We came up with that term, creative. And the generation before us, they like, look, get you this job where you in a union. You work for this long,
for 30 years.
This job where you, or when I was like a substitute teacher, they're like, oh, you should just work for the district for this long, then you'll get a pension and this and that and the other, and then you'll have a good retirement and this and that and the other. Like, I don't care about none of that. I'm not worried about that right now. What I'm worried about right now is my needs. You know what I'm saying? And, like, people, they just project those things onto you. And, like, for so long, I've been, like, Yes, out of
Out of
fear.
fear.
Out of fear. Out of fear.
Out of fear.
And like the pandemic was like, okay, this is probably some of the most scared you're ever going to be in your life. So are you going to continue to be scared?
Yes.
You know what I mean? Are you going to continue to be scared? Are you going to continue to, like, if anything, the pandemic just showed you like how much BS was going on right in front of your face. Like, it just opened up the curtain like, okay, we're going to put it right here. Like, yeah, you work at this job, but, you know, if something happens to you, we're going to get somebody to replace it tomorrow. So, oops. You know what I mean? And that's just
it.
Real.
Yeah.
That's just real. Like, these companies don't care. These companies do not care. And, like, you know, for so long, it was just, like, so much doubt. And I am a huge doubter. I don't like taking risks. You know what I mean? I don't like taking risks. But it came to a point where, okay, girl, you gotta get uncomfortable. You gotta get scared.
Oof.
Man.
Oof. Oof. Say that.
But
say
do
that.
it scared.
But do it scared.
Be scared.
But do it scared. You know what I'm saying? You have to. You have because and it's okay to be scared. You know, I've said that multiple times on this podcast. Like, you get to a point where like you recognize your feelings, but don't turn them off. Like, don't push them away. Like, accept them. You know, accept how you feel, because you're recognizing, okay, this is a feeling that I'm feeling, but it won't immobilize you unless you let it. If you're scared, then it's okay to be scared, because everybody's scared. Everybody's scared.
Day.
You know what I'm saying?
Every day.
When I tell you, like, I was like, because, you know, I'm working to get this field together. You know what I mean? I'm working to do all of this. I wanted to make sure, I wanted to make sure I'm not wasting anyone's time. I'm not wasting your time. You know what I mean? I want to make sure that we're here. It's impactful. I'm asking you what's relevant. You know what I mean? Because that's the whole purpose of it. But to do all of this, like making sure audio, video is all set up, like,
it's there.
Anxiety was there. You know what I'm saying? Anxiety was there. But it's like, at the end of the day, like, you grow to be uncomfortable in those situations and look at the result. You know what I'm saying? Look at the result. So it's like, it's nothing but continued growth. And again, you've shown that through your experience, that you're still in that space, and you've given so much fantastic time to me, and I really do appreciate that. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up here, but tell the people any projects that you may have coming up. Like I said, that this is probably going to air maybe the end of April. So anything that you may have coming up in the future, and then plug any and everything that you got, and how people can reach
me on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. I'm DJ Nico Marie. Instagram for my yoga page. Twitter is Yoga with Nico. My YouTube is Black Yogi Nico Marie. I have events coming up, of course. My 70s event will be over by the time this airs, but my next event coming up, Bounce Rave. This is huge, fun dance party. Like, we just have a good time. It's gonna be me and DJ Hood Bunny. What else? I have like various events that I'm not hosting myself, but I'm DJing. I DJ at Sophie's Artist Lounge. I'm a resident there. I'm a resident at the Marquee. So if you follow my social media, you'll see everything I'm posting, everything I have coming up. Become a member of my channel. Also, this interview, I just want to say, is really good. Like, I could tell that you did your research, and the questions were really well thought out and constructed. And I'm really glad that you asked about the process, because a lot of people want to know about the process. So thank you for this interview.
Yes. Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. And again, ladies and gentlemen, we are here with DJ Nico Marie. She has graced us with her presence and explained to us just about pursuing your passions and taking that step to where you want to get to, even though if you feel as if you can't, you always can. It's
absolutely.
Slow motion better than no motion. You know what I mean? Slow motion is better than no motion. So thank you very much.
Of course.
I appreciate you for coming out. I know you got a bunch of other things that you got to get to. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up for us. But again, thank you very much for your time. And hopefully I'll be able to get you back when you had like 300,000 subscribers. You know what I'm saying?
When.
You know, so you catch them on the way up. You see what I'm saying? So it's like,
you know,
look at
smart. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? You can see it. Look here, but I appreciate you. Thank you, Nico, so much for your time.
Peace.
All right, cool. And that about does it. So I want to thank you all for listening in on that dynamic conversation with myself and Miss DJ Nico Marie. Make sure you follow her on her platforms at Yoga with Nico on Instagram and at DJ Nico Marie for all of her information regarding her content. Subscribe to her YouTube page, Black Yogi Nico Marie. And also, if you're able to, subscribe to her YouTube membership program. So that's there. I'll have all the information in the show notes as well. I'm running a bit over time, but I wanted to say thank you again for just your support and making sure that you like, subscribe, and follow the Living the Wire podcast on all platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And if you enjoyed the content, please make sure that you leave some 5-star reviews for me so that I can reach other people, keep passing along this message. And, in the comments, let me know what you like about the show, what you may want to hear about. I'll have more interviews coming up. So, and I didn't forget about the audiobook of the week. So since we're running out of time, I just want to mention it. This week's book is The 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. It's a great listen. It provides simplistic ways for you to process how you view life choices. I highly recommend it. So until next week, keep moving forward. Peace out. Love you all.